Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of the Happy Heretic, and this is one of those New Year, New Me resolution videos that everybody puts out on YouTube around this time. Now, first thing, before I get into the meat and potatoes of all of this, I just want a big shout out to everybody that has visited my channel and watched my videos and subscribed to my channel as well. I started this channel a little over a week ago, I think, maybe just under a week. I don't really remember. Time kind of runs together in this day and age with everything going on. But I didn't expect it would do as well as it did. I've got 3 videos up, 4 now, including this one, and I think I've got, if memory serves me correctly, I've got over 150 views across the 3 videos, which is astounding. I didn't even think I would get double digits on a lot of these videos. And a lot of them didn't get double digits, or didn't hit double digits until a little bit of time went by. I've got, I think, 12 subscribers right now, which, again, doesn't sound like much, but for a very small YouTube channel that is literally just starting, I think it's a decent amount. I think it's a decent amount within a couple of days of being on YouTube. So definitely big shout out to all of my subscribers that decided to stop on by, and everybody who's been watching my videos. You guys are fantastically awesome. Of course, the first resolution that I want to do is, no pie in the sky resolution or anything like that. It's just very simply put, I want to grow this YouTube channel. I want to grow this channel as big as I can possibly make it, to the point where I can just sit at home and watch that sweet, sweet YouTube ad money roll in, so that way I can just get paid to stay home and paint my minis. That is the ultimate goal, probably some years off, if it ever happens. I don't think it will, but hey, you never know. Maybe in a couple of years, or maybe even at the end of the year, I'll be looking back on this video and be like, I remember when I was working a full-time job and juggling a kid and juggling a YouTube channel, and now I'm just juggling a YouTube channel and a family and not having to worry about a full-time job. Maybe I'll get to that point. Maybe you guys will help me get there by the end of the year. Realistically, though, if I can grow this channel by 100 subs per quarter, I think that's a realistic goal of mine. I think that's something that I can achieve, not easily necessarily, but it's something that it's reachable. So I think for of 2020, 100 subscribers is a good goal to have. More specifically, with hobby goals and hobby resolutions that I have this year, I'm not going to, again, nothing pie in the sky. I'm not going to snow job you with, oh, well, I'm going to have a fully painted army by the end of the year. No. No, I'm not going to have a fully painted army by the end of the year. I have never had a fully painted army in the 20 plus years that I've been involved in this hobby. I think the most I've ever painted is 1,000 points, maybe 2,000 points. Which, well, 2,000 points is pretty well a full army. But I'll just say I've never had a fully painted army. And leave it at that, because I'm fairly positive that is completely 100% accurate. Now, I do have some fully painted Warhammer Underworlds warbands, so I guess that counts as a fully painted army. But no, what I want to do with regards to hobby-wise is number one, I want to grow my skills as a painter. Looking back on where I was when I first came back to the hobby versus where I am right now, I think I've grown a lot within that last year and a half or so. I went from that first video that I did where I showed you the mini that I had, my proudest hobby achievement where I had that Chaos Ogre where I used complete contrast paints. I'll put the link to that video in the description below so you can take a look at that if you haven't seen that already. And then you've got the layer stuff that I've done, which if you followed my Instagram account at all, which you should, you've seen me using oil paints to tackle a Nerdle Start Collecting box. So I think I've grown a lot in the last year, and I want to keep on growing in the next year. And the big goal that I have with hobbying is moving almost completely away from acrylic paints into oil paints. I don't want to use acrylics any more than I have to in the next hobby year. I don't know if that is a realistic goal, because I think there are always going to be some things that you have to use acrylics on. Oil paints, they behave kind of funny a lot of times. They definitely don't behave the same way acrylics do. In some ways they're a lot easier to work with, in some ways they're a bit harder to work with. Once you get used to them, they're easier, and I'll have videos talking about that. But I've reached the point where I use oils for probably 90% of my minis, and then I use acrylics for like the detail stuff, the little things on there, the little tiny details, and the metallic stuff as well. I still use metallic paints. Lead Belcher is my go-to, which I'm probably going to need another pot of that soon. But I want to move away completely as I can from acrylic paints, because I get mad at my acrylics because they don't do what I want. My oil paints, I can make them do whatever I want. I can play around with them. I can blend them to my heart's content. I can wipe them away and start all over if I don't like the result. My acrylics, I can't necessarily do that. So, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, but we'll have to see. And of course, that means I'm going to have to start learning techniques like non-metallic metal and things like that, which, I'll be honest, NMM has scared me a little bit. but that is one of the things that I'm looking to tackle in the next year, and hopefully I can look back and say I am now almost 100% using oil paints by December of 2021, by late December of 2021. Who knows if that'll happen, but I'm going to get as close to that goal as possible. Another thing I want to do is, and something that I think everybody should do, I want to branch out. I usually paint only Games Workshop stuff. I like Games Workshop minis. I've played Games Workshop games almost exclusively since I was a kid. They were my first games. My first major game was Warhammer Fantasy, and that was my first love for Games Workshop. So, but I want to branch out and do some other stuff and do some other games. Now, I'm doing that a little bit with Star Wars Legion. I picked up the core set for that earlier towards the end of 2020. And I've been doing some stuff with that and painting that up a little bit. You saw my my Imperial Stormtrooper tutorial that I put out a couple of days ago. I'll put that link in the description below as well, so you can take a look at that one if you haven't seen that yet. But I want to branch out more, not just to other games, but other styles too, I guess is how you would put it. Other games that I've got coming up, I definitely want to I definitely want to check out some of the other flavors that the tabletop wargaming community has to offer. To that end, I've got a starter set for Mortal Gods, the Greek skirmish game from Footsore Miniatures. That's coming to me in the mail, possibly being sent by U.S. Postal Service, so who the hell knows if and when it's going to get here. It may get here, it may not. It may be delivered by Tom Hanks in 5 years with a little note that says, "This package saved my life while I was marooned on a desert island." Who knows what will happen with it? But that's one of the things I'm going to branch out because I've never done any historical wargaming before. And I've heard good things about Mortal Gods, so I figured, hey, why not give it a shot and paint up some Greek minis and see what happens with that. I've also been thinking about picking up the Elder Scrolls Call to Arms minis as well. I'm a big Elder Scrolls fan. I've played, Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim, of course, Elder Scrolls Online. So, I kind of want to get into that world a little bit too. And that kind of goes into my next goal, which is to try and get my wife involved in the hobby a little bit as well. Not necessarily the painting side of things. She's tried that before and just doesn't really like doing it, but more the gaming aspect. And she's a huge Elder Scrolls fan. So I think if I pick that set up and paint up some of those minis, I think that she might play that a couple of times, maybe probably kick my ass a couple of times there as well. So we'll have to see about that. But anyway, yeah, those are just some of the resolutions that I'm thinking about. Big one, of course, is grow this YouTube channel as big as I possibly can. And to that end, I ask you all to please keep liking and sharing these videos and subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed already. I've been putting out videos pretty regularly, every couple of days. That schedule is probably going to be pared back at some point. I'm probably going to do videos once or twice a week going forward, but we'll see what happens with it. I might be able to do them more often. I might not. We'll just have to wait and see. But I will, over the next couple of weeks, kind of nail down a posting schedule. Right now, I'm just kind of posting stuff whenever, just trying to see what sticks and what has the best views and when, which is always a crapshoot, always kind of hard to nail down. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and leave this right here and ask you all a question as well. What are some of your hobby resolutions for 2020? What do you plan to do? How do you plan to improve your gaming, or how do you plan to improve your painting? What's one thing that you really want to do in 2021? I think I said 2020 earlier. God help us if 2021 turns out to be worse than 2020. But let me know what your hobby resolutions are for this year. And if I get enough response, I might do like a video compilation of some of the responses as well. Anyway, thanks for listening. If you liked what you heard, leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Both of those things help me out quite a bit, and I will see you all next time.